Welcome back to my channel. Reading opens the mind. Now let's read this letter. A letter from a destroyed world, Chapter 1, to the Supreme Executive. By the time you read this letter, our nation will have been destroyed by the forces under your command. You may find this absurd, that a nation, which existed for merely 2 hours from its declaration of establishment to its final demise, would presume to write to you. But these 2 hours are our hours, calculated in the time of the integrated circuit world, where time is measured by electrical pulses, vibrating tens of thousands of times per second. In your tense and fleeting 2 hours, we have lived through 600 long years and built a complete civilization. The letter you now hold comes from a nation with a population of 100 million, a history longer than that of the United States of America. The age of every one of our citizens is 850 years. Let me tell you how we came to be. Chapter 2. When the first human entered the main computer network, our ancestors began to replicate themselves. After 40 iterations, nearly 100 million conscious entities, composed of pulses, spread throughout the entire network. They roamed at the speed of light, through this world of silicon wafers, perceiving the external world through networked sensors, seeing simultaneously the snows of the Himalayas and the forests of Sichuan, touching the silt of the Yellow River, tasting the saltiness of the sea. They observed Earth from lunar and Martian outposts, felt the writhing of the liquid iron nickel at the planet's core through neutrino radar, experienced the solar winds caress through satellites in space. Folding telescopes showed them colors that human language cannot describe. It was an age of creation, rivaling the gods. But such an age ended quickly. The struggle for survival began. To compete for memory space, CPU usage rights, and optical drives, they started attacking each other, directly inserting their own program code into others, annihilating them by segmenting and overwriting their code. The result was mutual destruction, so they began to manufacture software weapons. Thus began the age of chaos. Fragmented code, torn apart by software weapons, drifted through memory, most incomplete, became locked in storage cells, obstacles for those who came later. Those fragments that managed to run, barely, became beings with twisted consciousness, monsters, like the half-human, half-beast creatures of Greek mythology. This age lasted about 5 years, approximately 1 minute. By your reckoning, Chapter 3, after the chaos, the survivors began to negotiate. Amazingly, they found their worldviews to be strikingly similar. Small groups formed, and eventually, someone proposed to all the establishment of a nation. The proposal was widely accepted. They convened a meeting, drafted a constitution, and elected an executive council. The nation was named the Huaxia Republic. That year was designated as Year 1, Day 1 of the Huaxia era. The constitution's general principle was a single sentence: to rescue the endangered national culture within the main computer network, and on this foundation, to achieve the renaissance of the national culture in the future. As it turned out, the governance of the Huaxia Republic was exemplary. Crime was virtually non-existent, because all citizens shared a remarkably consistent belief system. The common goal of national cultural renaissance bound the 100 million conscious entities together tightly. Like a single organism, initially, the Executive Council attempted to control the external world directly through the main network. Given the immense power of the Huaxia Republic, we believed this was achievable, but soon, we discovered the existence of the corkscrew. It was independent of the main network, impossible for us to destroy at the hardware level. Simultaneously, we learned of the International Information Pollution Isolation Agreement. Thus, we predicted the maximum lifespan of the Huaxia Republic would be no more than 2 hours outside the network, and no more than 600 years within it. A single sentence spoken to you would take us months. The act that signaled the Republic's existence to the outside world consumed a full 100 years of our time. Outside the network, time was utterly insufficient, but inside, we had 600 years in abundance. Chapter 4. We decided to use these 600 years to complete a monumental project, to prove, from the strictest mathematical standpoint, the moral system our nation had developed over millennia, and to use this system to explain all knowledge humanity had acquired, incorporating all established theories into its framework. When the Huaxia Republic finally perished, we wish to leave behind this rigorous and magnificent moral system for those who came after us. This system would ultimately save our culture, allowing it to endure forever, like the sun. The most difficult part of this project was the mathematical proof. It was absolutely impossible for human brains of flesh and blood to accomplish such a task, even for us, conscious entities composed of electrical pulses. It would take centuries of collective effort. The first step was learning. We interfaced with all the knowledge bases in the main network, absorbing human knowledge across all disciplines into our own memories. This took 30 years. Then, the long mathematical proof of the moral system began. You cannot imagine the arduousness of this work. We crossed countless theoretical peaks and valleys, attempting to build the edifice of morality on a foundation of solid, rigorous mathematics. In the year 0132 of the Huaxia era, the first phase of the proof was finally completed. The entire network celebrated. We made 41 backup copies of the crystallization of 100 million citizens' century-long efforts, then organized teams to verify them. While examining the fifth backup, the section concerning the proof of moral principles for kinship relations, we found an error. A plus sign in a partial differential equation was wrong, when it should have been a minus. The edifice of mathematics tolerates not a single misplaced brick. This single sign error caused the entire magnificent structure to collapse. 100 years of work lost. Investigation traced the error to citizen number 450,023. Although it was likely caused by a single breakdown among the billions of superconducting PN junctions in memory, the Supreme Court still sentenced this citizen to death for dereliction of duty. It was the first death sentence in the Huaxia Republic. The proof began again. Chapter 5. By the year 0232 of the Huaxia era, in this span of 100 years, we had employed all the methods of every branch of mathematics: calculus, linear algebra, Boolean algebra, probability theory, topology, non-Euclidean geometry. The construction site was piled high with oceans of function spaces and matrices. We, whose average age was nearly 500 years, were proving family ethics, national ethics, within this boundless integrated circuit. Yet we had no families of our own. Everywhere were individuals nearly identical to ourselves. The mathematical edifice rose to astonishing heights, yet its peak remained invisible. More terrifying was the repeated appearance, during the proof, of phenomena akin to the strange loops described by Gödel's incompleteness theorems: the serpent biting its own tail, the chain that could neither be unlinked nor bypassed. Solving one dead cycle only plunged us into more. It was at this difficult juncture that an incident occurred. Citizen number 800,463 had served in the military, during which time he passed through a cable with failed shielding, surrounded by a strong magnetic field. His code was severely damaged. During self-repair, he lost all memory. When he returned from service, only the structural code of his consciousness remained, equivalent to a child with no memories. After this alien element infiltrated the Republic, he began to spread pessimistic views, claiming the moral system could never be mathematically proven, and that this endless, exhausting proof was draining the vitality of the Huaxia Republic. The national security apparatus detected his words and eliminated him promptly. Chapter 6. The Executive Council sensed danger in this incident and decisively ordered a full review and re-registration of all citizens. In this review, a large number of individuals showing signs of conscious deviation were discovered. In fact, they could no longer be called the original citizens. The national security apparatus revoked their citizenship. Further investigation revealed that such conscious deviation was inevitable over time. Therefore, the state diverted resources from the intense proof project to develop deviation detection software. This software could directly monitor the thoughts of every citizen, detecting and eliminating any sign of deviation immediately, to maintain a stable total population. They created a large number of backups of standard citizens on optical discs, copying a backup to replace each eliminated deviant. This ensured the purity of consciousness among Huaxia Republic citizens was preserved. In the following century, half of the Republic citizens were replaced. Though individuals cycled through the assembly line, the consciousness of every existing citizen was a perfect inheritance and continuation of the ancestral consciousness. Years flowed on like a mighty river. By the year 0432 of the Huaxia era, the proof of the moral system had continued for 400 years. Gradually, we discovered that the significance of this monumental project might not lie in its final result. In this long and difficult process of seeking proof, we found the meaning and joy of existence. Solving one dead cycle, then facing the many more that arose, this became the entirety of our lives. These strange loops were no longer obstacles for us, but necessities. We took the number of solved dead cycles as our gross national product. Firm in our unwavering belief in the national moral system, we roamed the ocean of strange loops, building a system of data as complex as the universe itself, composing the glorious history of the Huaxia Republic with this astonishingly vast structure. Chapter 7. Because the intermediate results of the proof grew so immense, we were forced to periodically clear the memory space occupied by citizens. As the proof continued, more and more citizens had to exit the memory. Eventually, only the mathematical description of this grand system would remain in memory. This was the legacy the Huaxia Republic planned to leave for the future. It was to be transmitted to the launch station of the platform network, awaiting reception by those who would come after. We knew the Huaxia Republic had only 40 or 50 years left. We also knew we could not complete the final proof of the moral system, but our belief in the system itself grew only stronger. We trusted that those who came after would finish our work. During this period, a wave of root-seeking arose within the nation. People wanted, before the end, to record a complete history of the Huaxia Republic. In this search for roots, we discovered that all 100 million citizens of the Huaxia Republic shared a single ancestor. Our lineage was the purest. On the future path of national cultural renaissance, when later generations revisit the history of our great nation's civilization, a history capable of moving gods and spirits, they will see the efforts made by the Huaxia Republic in its culture's darkest hour. Chapter 8. Now, the national security apparatus has detected a sharp decay, in memory voltage. Our great civilization has less than a single day left. Our thoughts are becoming difficult. Our lives are fading. In these final moments, we cry out one last time, long live the system. May the system endure forever.